just gonna make sure everything's working. Make sure we're actually live on YouTube. Come on. Okay, there we go. Viewers, welcome back to another live stream. We are here for the final race in 2025. Not a lot of introduction in this one, viewers. We're just going to get straight into it. By now, you probably know who I am. You probably know who David is. So like I said, no need for any introductions. We just have about an hour to go of the Bapco Energy's 8 hours of Bahrain. It has been an eventful race, some crashes, some exciting drama. Not a lot of championship storylines as we were talking about just a moment ago, David. But right now it's Toyota out in front, and they look like they're going to be in control to the end.
Yeah, it's a if you asked me a year ago about if this was a special occasion that we're talking about a 1-2 for Toyota, I would be laughing at you a bit because this is more like what we know Toyota for being, like
Right.
the front runner, the most dominant car, but they just haven't been this season, and it's so wild to see them finally put it together at the final race of the season. It wouldn't be a WEC season without a Toyota dominance. It almost seems like so. Yeah, a Toyota dominance here at Bahrain. They have been fighting with the Ferraris and the Aston Martins actually also, but yeah, a Toyota dominance. As just quickly to say that the 15 BMW now standing still on track.
Notice
I
that.
think it have had a spin. It's Dries Van Tor, I think so at least.
Yeah, the back
Um,
right tire. I don't know if you noticed this, David. It's something's wrong with
yeah,
it.
it's flat.
Is it flat? Yeah, Dries is saying,
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
my
that.
tire came off. I can't move anymore.
Yeah, and that's
Ooh.
just into sector three with that, like right after the straight down with the tight corner. Yeah, let's see what's happening.
He just spun it, and it looks like something happened with the
Yeah,
tire. Hmm.
did he just come out of the pits or? Because of course we just had to set up the stream, so we didn't really see what's. It's
Right.
still on. It's a flat tire. It seems. It's just yeah. As we get a virtual safety car, perfect timing. Then we can talk about it. About this race a bit. Um, well, it has been a Toyota dominance, like they showed in qualifying that they had the pace this weekend,
Oh yeah.
and that of course took pole position for the first time this year, I believe. And and from there they just did a classic Toyota, something we haven't seen this year, but they show up at the final race of the season to just let us know that this Toyota hypercar has been an amazing car. Of course, it's changing a lot next year. A lot of
Right.
cars are changing a lot next year, um, but yeah, let's hope for Toyota to put it a bit more together next year than they have this year. Of course, no real championship battle for them. It seems all but done for Ferrari this year, with a strong performance here at Bahrain as well.
Yeah, I mean, Toyota out in front. I gotta say, it's nice to see. Toyota has been so dominant in the WEC. They're the most successful manufacturer in hypercar. In fact, they are the most successful manufacturer here in Bahrain. And it looks like they're gonna win this. I mean, of course, we still have about an hour to go, so still a lot that can happen. But the 7 has been leading the whole race pretty much from start to finish. It qualified on pole, as you mentioned, David, with Kamui Kobayashi. And the 8 is currently in second. But of course, that car is low on energy. It's on a different strategy, so it won't be in second. This VSC that's just come out for the 15 BMW, which of course we did not predict, kind of mixes things up a little bit. It does allow for a few changes in the strategy and might allow for a few cars to come in to the pits. Notably, one car that might benefit off of this is the number 50 Ferrari, which is just come out of the pit lane on brand new energy. It's in a good position. The 8 Toyota is also going to really benefit from this. It's actually coming into the pit lane now. And this VSC actually could promote the 8 into a podium position as well. Quick note before we continue on. If car 7 wins this race, it will be the first win for that crew since 2022. all the way back about 3 years ago during the second year of the hypercar class. But David, as you mentioned, the championship battles, let's talk about that for a moment. Not much has changed. You know, it's kind of, we haven't had the battle that I guess we were hoping for between Cadillac, Porsche, and Ferrari in the drivers and manufacturers championships. It's been Ferrari that has had the pace compared to all three of them. The 51 is currently in the battle for the podium right now, and that is the car that's leading. The 6 has been having a pretty difficult race. It's been a very similar race to last year. And the 83, while in contention, doesn't have enough to be able to take the 51, and the 12 Cadillac is not in the fight either at this point. So it's going to go the way of Pierre Guidi, Giovinazzi, and Collado, if I'm being honest. Ferrari look to wrap up the manufacturers. And in LMGT3, as of things right now, it's Manthey, first form, who started at the very back with that blue 911. They currently sit in T1, so they went from the back to the front. Of course, strategies will come and go. There's a lot to happen, but either way, this 92 car is going to take the title. I think it's inevitable that Hardwick, Leitz, and I believe Ricardo Pera will be taking the drivers or the team's championship in the GT category. So it's kind of been uneventful in terms of the title fight, but hey, that's sometimes how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that will be back to back for Mansa Racing. Of course, last year they were really dominant. This year it has been a bit more of a fight. Porsche and GT3 haven't really had the pace they had last year, but still Mansa Racing showing that they have the team and the strategy calls, and also to fight, sustain a championship. That's the quality of a great team. Mansa Racing, of course, known really for the Nürburgring races and the GT racing in general. They're really, really a strong team and a winning team in many championships. So for them to see them go back to back now in WEC with the GT3 program, that's awesome to see. But yeah, Jonah, a bit of in terms of a championship finale race, hasn't been it. I think many of the fans who followed the BOP and WEC also saw this coming when we saw Ferrari get a boost in BOP and Cadillac, especially getting a hard weight gain. I think it was, or they got nerfed a lot going into Bahrain. And for me, Porsche have not showed, like, I was surprised when actually looking at the championship before this race and seeing Porsche in it, because it hasn't been that Porsche year they had last year, and Ferrari have just been dominating the WEC this year. It's a perfect season for them. Now they won them all. They are winning the championship now, both the drivers and the manufacturers. And for Ferrari, this is really, really well done. Great job by the team. And yeah, honestly, it's almost like when Toyota won their championship, that both drivers and manufacturers. It's just a dominating team, and everybody has to really step up to fight to take the fight too.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that if I'm being honest, let me be honest here. I think that for 2026, there needs to be some changes because there's clearly some problems with the BOP. There's clearly some problems with a lot of things. I think that, oh, sorry, I got a text message. I think that next year, like you said, David, a lot of people are going to need to step up. There's going to be a lot of changes. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Porsche Pensky Motorsport hat, viewers, and in support for a team that is saying farewell to the WEC. This is a sad day, of course, for both of us, David, as Porsche fans. But I think that after speaking with Porsche Pensky themselves, after like having conversations with them, and then also looking at what we've been kind of seeing for the last couple of weeks, that this isn't goodbye, but just see you later. And I think that Porsche will inevitably come back, if not next year, 2027, either through Le Mans Auto Invites or something like that. It's unfortunately looking very, very likely that Porsche will disappear from the WEC hypercar field entirely in 2026 because Proton seems to not be expanding, which tells me that they are actually going to switch back to IMSA and focus entirely on that. For me, that's actually very good news because more Porsches overall in championships, more racing with 963s. But for WEC fans, it is quite devastating to see the 963 likely not race next year. But we'll get confirmation on that later on. So this VSC has come out and has promoted a few entries and kind of mixed around the order. The number 8 Toyota, which we mentioned just a moment ago, has stayed in second position. That VSC saved their race and really promoted them into a really phenomenal position. The Porsche team with the Pensky entries is going to drop down to third in the Manufacturers Championship because Toyota's performance here, if they finish in P1 and P2, will elevate them into second in the Manufacturers Championship. So that would be quite the swing in points for the Japanese brand, but we'll see how it goes. Also, in LMGT3, David, we haven't talked a lot about that class. It's been Lexus that's been out in front, but interestingly, it's not been the pole sitting car, it's been the 87. Something happened to the 78 earlier, retired. But the 87 has been the car to beat, really, in the last couple of races. The last
Yeah,
couple of laps, sorry.
I mean, yeah, but also how you say races, it's not wrong, Jonah, because Lexus has
Sure.
really put it together. Of course, this is the last year with that car. It's a new car coming for the Lexus team. So yeah, Toyota and Lexus on it today. Japanese power, I think, you could say, but for me, the storylines haven't really been the leading teams, the Toyotas and the Lexus. It has been Mercedes and Aston Martin. Because
Yeah.
if you guys remember back to the first race of this year, um, if they were at the very bottom of the race, like both teams struggling for pace, struggling to put the car together and finish races and be competitive. Now Mercedes is fighting in the GT3 field, and Aston Martin has been on podium place in the podium place for a long time this race. Problems for the 009, they got to drive through
Oh,
for
no.
some these virtual safety car problems, and the 007 hadn't has also had some problems and just strategy problems. So yeah, but the pace of Aston Martin all of a sudden and Mercedes versus the Iron Lynx team, it's great to see this like comeback season it has been from the very bottom to the very top in just a season. Something we don't normally see, Jonah, and it promises to be really great in the future. Of course, Valkyrie, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, this is the first year in WEC and in hypercar and LMGH racing. It's it's promising to be a program that's gonna get some success. We saw success in IMSA for the team Hearts of Iron team, and I think we could see something similar in WEC.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Aston Martin's really stepped up their game since Brazil. Since Brazil, they were kind of like able to get up there and starting to put the pressure. I mean, the BOP of course helped. They've had the best BOP since then, but I think this has been a learning year for Aston, and I think they've really made a lot of step forward. The test at Paul Ricard. From the WEC squad really helped out not just the WEC team but the IMSA team as well. They truly unlocked something. You could see that the pace really turned at Petit Le Mans and IMSA, and it seemed to turn here as well in the Bahrain race. So a lot to take from this season for Aston. I think they're going to come into 2026 no longer as the newcomers, but as an experienced manufacturer now with the season under their belt, and now they are able to fight with other brands. So we'll see. We'll see with Aston. I'm very excited to see what they can do. Also, quick note on Peugeot as well. What happened to them? They were really quick at the start of the race. They were in P3 and P4. Of course, that's where they qualified. They were up there. They've shown really good pace, but I think the 93 had a spin. They've had unlucky moments throughout the race, and I believe, where are they on the table right now? They are P9 and P11. So not the best result for Peugeot as of right now. I hope that they can get a good result in this race as things go on. But yeah, it's been an interesting one for that team as well.
Well, racing in the midfield in hypercar is a difficult task to master. Of
For
course,
sure.
this race particularly, it's been Toyota that has been at the top together with Ferrari, but then there's been a huge midfield battle between teams. Peugeot is one of them, Aston Martin, and also Cadillac in there. So it's there are so many teams fighting just behind the top guns. The top guns can change race from race. That's something about the BOP that has to change.
Right.
But right now we're looking at a hypercar program where we have a clear top with Ferrari. We have a that one-off team that gets a great BOP. Toyota is had also got a boost in BOP up till this race.
True.
But then there is a huge midfield of cars similar in pace and fighting for those points giving positions. And it's great to see finally a championship where you could look at more things than just who's winning and who's not. We have battles all over. Something that was really promising also about the GTE Pro program back in the day,
Hmm.
that we had so many manufacturers fighting for positions all over the grid. It wasn't just for the podium places, and this is something that Hypercar does as well. So this has been a race more about the midfield for me and the final podium place than it has been for the top, because Kobayashi and that number 7 car looks set for taking the first place.
Yeah, I think Toyota's got this locked in. I mean, of course, we're under safety car right now, so this could change up the order a little bit. De Vries is on board in the number 7 car as things stand. It's Toyota 1-2 with De Vries ahead of Buemi. Then comes the 3 Ferrari hypercars, the 51 ahead of the 83 ahead of the 50. Coincidentally, they're all in championship order as well. Then comes that 009 Valkyrie. And I think, David, you mentioned that car had a drive-through, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it had a drive through because of these VSC problems. It was running in second place, in first place actually at that moment. So Aston Martin really showing it has the pace here at Bahrain, but a comeback drive is needed for that 009 with Marco Sørensen in it.
Yeah, unfortunate for Marco. He's been so fast across this race and one of the standout drivers across the season, in my opinion. And that, I mean, qualifying P3 in a Valkyrie at Fuji was one of the standout performances, in my opinion. But yeah, so we'll see where the Valkyrie places as we come to the end. Of course, we still have 36 minutes, around 37 minutes to go. But we'll see how this race progresses. Now, another factor I want to kind of bring up is, of course, we talked about Porsche Pensky leaving. We've talked a lot about the silly season, but let's talk a little bit about the drivers as well in this race, because we have Jenson Button, of course, one of the drivers that's competing here. He is on board the 38 Cadillac for his final stint in his professional racing career. This is a driver who joined Formula One in 2000, a long time ago, of course. And then he won the championship in 2009. He was a part of that NASCAR Garage 56 effort in 2023 at Le Mans. He's had so many major success. You know, you look to Super GT as well with his performances there and winning the championship there. But yeah, I think that so that he's one driver that I definitely wanted to mention. And somebody I wanted to talk about as well, David, somebody I think that you're aware of is Mikkel Jensen, who's a Danish driver, of course. He is leaving Peugeot at the end of this race. This is his final event for that team. And he's, of course, driving the 93 hypercar. I'm curious to know your thoughts on where Jensen will go following that event.
Well, Mikkel Jensen is a well-known driver, at least here in Denmark, and also in the World Endurance Championship. Of course, he stuck with Peugeot from the very start of that program, and has been driving. If you don't know him, he's also driving LMP2 in IMSA. So he's a he's a really experienced driver in endurance racing, and I'm sure the hypercar team could be looking to get Mikkel Jensen in on it, but if not, I know we'll see a lot more to him in IMSA and with in LMP2. I think there is something to change for Peugeot. I think they have been stronger here at the business end of the season.
Yep.
Also, again, because of some BOP changes. But I think that for if you are Peugeot, you want to change something up. You want to look to maybe change some drivers to fix the car a bit. But yeah, Mikkel Jensen, a strong driver that has decided with Peugeot not to continue at the team, and I'm sure he will find a new team. So many great racing race drivers looking to get into hypercars. So it's a competitive field to get into. But if you have already had experience in hypercar racing, in prototype racing in general, and with success, Mikkel Jensen's a really fast driver. He has won LMP2 at Sebring in IMSA. So
Right.
we know it's quality, but it's just about finding the right team.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see where he ends up in 2026. I've heard that he could be looking at potentially joining McLaren as well with their hypercar effort, as well as a few other drivers who are linked to the United Autosport squad. Of course, we've mentioned Porsche Pensky leaving the WEC at least for now, and a couple other teams as well, maybe saying goodbye. United Autosports, we know for a fact, is leaving the WEC for 2026. They'll be back in 2027, and we hope that they'll be joined by Porsche Pensky Motorsport, or at least in some capacity, maybe through Le Mans invites or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be a farewell to a lot of drivers and teams, manufacturers as well, unfortunately, with Porsche. But of course, we have some new arrivals as well. You know, you have Genesis as well, which is coming back through the field. Quick note, real quickly, Mohammed in the comments says, can you fix the timetable? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Could you clarify a little bit what you mean? Because the timetable, if you're talking about the live data that we have right here on the left, all of that is completely normal as it stands right now. So if you can clarify what you mean by that, that'd be great. Also, viewers, safety car is in this lap for the 8 hours of Bahrain. The final push for 2025. Can De Vries hold on and secure Toyota's first win with the 7 car since Imola in 2024? And it would be Toyota's first win since, coincidentally, last year here in Bahrain with the 8. So, we'll see how it goes, but we are back to green flag racing here in Bahrain with around 32 minutes to go. Nick De Vries, former F1 driver and Formula E world champion, leads us away in the number 7 Toyota GR010 Hybrid LMH, and that car will lead the sister entry, followed by those 3 Ferraris. Not much drama so far as we get everything going on here, but the 87 Lexus continues to lead in LMGT3, and it's been a pretty interesting start to this race. Or restart to this race.
Yeah, I was about to say, but yeah, you also have to remember right now this for Toyota, for Ferrari, it's not a dangerous position. They want to take no chances at all with this championship. The 51 car also leading the drivers, but you have a battle for the drivers' championship with the, of course, 83 car and the
Right.
51 Ferrari car. So you are going to see a Pierre Guidi, although he's at the back of a Toyota, he's not going to risk anything. He's not going to try anything stupid here in the last 31 minutes of this race. It's the championship, world championship we're talking about, and he wouldn't want to mess that up. As we also see the 61 car overtake the 92. That's the championship winning right
Whoa.
now, virtual winning championship car, winning, losing a place to the 61 Mercedes Iron Lynx car. A battle that has been going on for a long time between those 2 cars.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, this is the Mercedes that has moved into 3rd place in LMGT3. This would be Mercedes' first podium ever in the WEC. So we'll see if they can hold on to this. It's been a phenomenal race from the AMG GT3. They qualified 2nd and 3rd, a best ever performance from the Iron Lynx, not just with Mercedes, but ever in the World Endurance Championship, if I'm not mistaken, with their 2 cars. But wow, what a performance from Mercedes, and I hope that they can continue this in the race. Also, we had a comment coming in saying that the lap count was not showing properly, and that was correct. A few numbers were slightly off, so I fixed it there. Hopefully you'll be able to see all the laps, and hopefully that's there's no issues there. But 30 minutes left of the 8 hours of Bahrain. This is a lot of racing that we're seeing right now. A close battle for P4 between Kubica and Nielsen, as the 50 Ferrari is looking to jump the 83 and move into fourth ahead of the customer AF Corsa entry.
Yeah, close battle, and Nicholas Nielsen and Kubica, of course, two Le Mans. Sorry,
You're good.
two Le Mans winning drivers in that Ferrari, so it's cool to see them fight for position here. Of course, Kubica winning Le Mans this year with Ferrari, and Nicholas Nielsen last year taking a bit of a squeeze there from the pole.
Saw that.
Um, that's in manufacturer fighting. That's Ferrari v Ferrari. That's if I was the boss of Ferrari, I'd be screaming at my drivers right now because you don't want to see that ever. As a full course yellow again. Um,
Debris on the start finish straight. It looks like, I don't know what debris that is. It's too hard to tell right now. But yeah, you're right. Another full course yellow, probably to clean up that little bit of debris.
yeah, just a quick one. I expect, of course, WEC want to see this last 28 minutes go with racing and not a full course yellow. It wouldn't be nice to see a business final race finish under full course yellow. I don't think that would happen. Just to clarify, but you want to see as much action here for the last half an hour of racing. But yeah, a bit of debris on the start finish straight there, Jonah, as we have a guy coming to take that away, so we can get back to green flag racing.
Yeah, and Marshall just came and picked up that debris, so the full course yellow should be going away quite soon. Thank goodness it wasn't like Formula One when I don't know if you saw that race in Mexico, David, but the Liam Lawson situation with a driver. Liam Lawson, I can't remember exactly what he did. He was driving, and then two marshals came on track, and he almost hit them. That was earlier in the year, but yeah, unfortunately there was. There was that situation, but thankfully it didn't happen here. That's my point. So full course yellow should be going away quite soon. DeVries will lead in the 7 Toyota once again, and Lopez will lead in the 87 Lexus. And I believe this would be the Lexus second win of the season. I believe they also won in Sao Paulo, if I'm not mistaken, with that 87 car.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that would be great if they do that.
yeah, a really dominant race that Sao Paulo, and it's been the same here for Lexus. Of course, unfortunately with the sister car to the 87 car, but yeah, Lexus just having the pace over the other teams here at Bahrain. As we get green flag racing again, as Kubica just put some Mercedes between the two, the 50 and the 83 car. But yeah, green flag racing again here at Bahrain for the final race of the season, of course. Um, let's hope we get a nice 26 minutes of racing, Jonah. The championship may be done, but let's get some nice racing and some competitive racing. Of course, teams want to maybe save the season here at the last race of the WEC season. Toyota is doing everything to put at least one good result at this season because, as we mentioned many times before, it hasn't been their year. But a 1-2 at the final race of the season promises to be better in the future then. But yeah, and let's see that 009 Aston Martin push up the grid. I would love to see them get a podium here. I
Oh,
don't
that'd be
think it's very
beautiful.
likely with the teams in front of them, but they have had the pace this race, and it's such a fun story of seeing Mercedes now fighting for what is third place in GT3, and Aston Martin having been on first place in this race. It's such a wild story thinking back to the first race of the season, but that's WEC, that's Hypercar and GT3 racing. It's just been an awesome year, and it shows that these regulations and this type of championship that we're having right now is just really, really well done. Of course, we have problems. We've talked about them throughout the whole year with Hypercar and BOP,
Hmm.
but the cars and the teams are showing that it can work. It's really, really well when it does work. And when we have great BOP, we have had some absolutely stunning races. So yeah, I'm hopeful for the future. This is the golden era. We've mentioned it so many times before, and it will just continue. It seems like we may lose Porsche this year round, but they will most likely come back again. And if even if they don't, we have so many new manufacturers joining the hypercar program, and that's awesome, John. I remember back in the day when we only had three different manufacturers, and this is wild.
I remember back in the day when we only had one Audi. That was it.
Yeah.
Back in 2005, 2006, that was, I mean, I was, what was it, 3 at the time, so I guess I didn't really remember, but I remember when it was just Audi versus the privateers like Pescarolo and the Dome cars. And then we had Peugeot. I was like, yes, finally someone can challenge Audi. Then Toyota came along. Peugeot inevitably left. Porsche came. Nissan, and that was epic. And then we got this, and then it just blew up, and it was absolutely beautiful. But over in LMGT3, I just want to highlight a really, really fantastic battle that we're seeing between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. Maxime Martin is on the back of that Aston Martin for second place. Mercedes are challenging for P2 in this race. And this is what Mercedes is known for doing. This is what we're used to seeing from that AMG GT3. Being at the front, fighting for wins, fighting for podiums. The Iron Lynx have been making steady progress in the background. It's been a quiet kind of season for the Iron Lynx. But they started to get up to speed with that Mercedes. Remember, even though that car is kind of old compared to all the other entries, it still never has competed in the WEC. And so at the start of the year, Iron Lynx were kind of getting used to things. They were finishing at the back. They were understanding their car, their new entry, of course. And then when we got to Le Mans, things started to change for the Iron Lynx without Mercedes. So things are going well for them. Meanwhile, the two Ferraris are battling for P4. Right now, the 50's just going to get ahead
That's
Nielsen into P4.
pushing
Did you
him
see
off
that?
track again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In team fighting, that's. I mean, they're giving us the show here at the final race of the season, and Kubica is not a driver to just give space. I think Niklas has it in the bag now, coming down after the start finish straight and that small straight going into the midfield now, midfield part of the track, infield part of the track. Yeah, Niklas having now fourth place, so it's Ferrari third, fourth, and fifth. Of course, we started off the season with Ferrari one, two, three. So um, they have just been the team to beat this year. It's wild to think back. I remember we did the predictions for the season, Jonah, and I was thinking if Ferrari would have a down year. That was before any practice had gotten into it, and Porsche being the team to win. We got Porsche leading and Ferrari winning everything instead.
True.
Um, I don't know what I would want to take more, but yeah, it's awesome to see when everything gets together, and it's show I'm hopeful that we'll get that Ferrari versus Ford in the
Oh,
future. Of course, Ford back in the day came into Le Mans and endurance racing because they wanted to beat the all dominant Ferrari team. We have an all dominant Ferrari team now, then we just have to have Ford come and be competitive as well. Um, it I'm looking forward to that rivalry reheating up again, and I hope to see Ford doing well when they join Hypercar.
they'll be my new favorite manufacturer when they join. I think that I'll be supporting them as the main brand. Ford versus Ferrari. It's coming back in 2027 for the overall Le Mans win. The last time that was the case was back in the 60s. When that epic rivalry happened, but it's going to be interesting. Meanwhile, battle for second position, Ferrari has catched up to Toyota, and it is Alessandro Pierguidi, the GOAT, behind the wheel of the 51 Ferrari and trying to challenge Sebastian Buemi in the number 8 Toyota, the car which won last time out here in Bahrain. So the 51 trying to make it into second position and get one better spot as they look to claim the championship. Car 007, the Aston Martin Valkyries, received a 5 seconds added to the next pit stop for a pit stop infringement at 21:07. So it was about a minute ago that happened. So 007 coming into the pit lane. It's been a difficult race for them, unfortunately. Difficult year for them, but the 009 is still in the fight for a strong points finish.
Yeah, yeah, and if I told Aston Martin that they would be in a position where they'll actually get more than just 1 points paying position race this year, they would absolutely take it. As actually, I think it's the 007 car having the perfect view of the battle between the 51 Ferrari and the number 8 Toyota of Buemi, sitting right behind them, out of ra- out of position, of course, not fighting the cars. But yeah, it reminds me a bit of the first Le Mans, really, with Ferrari. It was also a fight between them and Toyota for the win. Of course, Ferrari, ever since they joined back at Le Mans, they haven't lost it. They have won the last three Le Mans, and Le Mans, and I really see that continuing. It's the team to beat, showing this year as well. As we get a close battle in GT3 as well, the Corvette and Ferrari, a battle that started this race being really really close, as Lexus just pushed off into the future. You could almost say they were so far in front, and Corvette and Ferrari really just battling it out in the midfield of GT3. It has been a great year also for Ferrari in GT3, coming up short, it looks like, in the championship, but it has been competitive more so this year than last year.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that Ferrari has been having some standout performances. You look to Spa, for example, when they won that. Imola, they probably would have won that race as well. Same thing with Coda. They would have won that race. And as well, Fuji. They've just been really unlucky. I think that's just been really an unlucky season for Ferrari in some way in GT. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Also, something I want to point out, because one of the main questions I get on YouTube videos is what is next for Porsche after their 2025 exit from the WEC. And over time and time again, I keep saying that the way that they are going to get into Le Mans, or the way they're going to come back, is through Proton competition. Now, with a lot of rumors stating now that Proton is leaving, believe it or not, viewers, and I'm not making this up, there is actually a very new chance and an unexpected chance that Porsche does end up going to Le Mans in 2026, even if Proton isn't there. Now, like I said, I've been stating this for quite some time that Proton would have to be there. But I've been hearing, specifically here at Bahrain, that Roger Pensky and his team have been discussing with the FIA to allow Porsche to enter Le Mans despite not being on the full season grid. Now, that could mean that a change in the rules might happen for 2026, allowing for certain cars, like for example the Porsche, if it doesn't compete in the full season, to enter Le Mans. That would be huge, and something that I would love to see happen. If that does end up happening, a lot of news articles, Sports Car 365 in particular, have highlighted that if Porsche are able to do that, that could open the door for other manufacturers to enter Le Mans specifically. So you look to Acura, for example, who have been keen to race at Le Mans but cannot compete in the full season. Acura might be able to end up at Le Mans one day if they change that rule. That could also be the case with brands like Van Wall and Isotta Fraschini if they decide to come back through Asian Le Mans participation. So even if Proton leaves, which is looking likely that they will, and I hope they stay in IMSA, do not lose focus on Porsche coming back. There is still a major possibility that they do through a rule change. And according to a lot of Porsche personnel, including Roger Pensky, they are discussing things with the FIA and the ACO to potentially work out something that would be beneficial for both organizations. So very interesting stuff, viewers. I just wanted to highlight that because I know I get a lot of people asking about that. And I know that I will definitely, and David as well, will be letting you all know if we hear any further updates. 15 minutes to go of the Vapco Energy's 8 hours of Bahrain. Toyota pretty much have this. I'm going to call it right now. The 7 car has been 16 seconds ahead of the sister entry. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be any change at the front.
Well, you know what Toyota is used to with their history in endurance racing, so I wouldn't be comfortable before the car is over the line. But no, it looks almost said and done. Also, now a 2.3 seconds gap between the 51 car in third place and the 8 car in second place. So it looks like Buemi has second place down as well, at least. It doesn't look like we will get that big close battle here at the end, for any real change, in terms of the positions of the race or the championship. Um, Even though, I mean, the Cadillac, the 12th Hertz Team Toyota, is half a second after Kubica and after Ferrari. So we could see a battle for fifth place, if anything, in hypercar, as we see them going toe to toe right now down the straight. But yeah, Jonah, it looks said and done. Nothing is said and done in the endurance racing before it's actually at the over the line. But yeah, it looks really, really well for Toyota and really well done. Good job done, because for again, it hasn't been their year, and for Toyota to actually get something out of this season, at least a now it looks like a second place, or third place, in the championship. That's something you would take as Toyota if you've looked over the whole season, came coming into the season wanting to fight for the championship. Maybe not so, but well, when taking everything into account, this has been a solid performance at the business end of the season compared to what we saw at Le Mans. Particularly, it wasn't Toyota standards what they did there. They weren't even in the fight for the victory. So it has been a different year than we normally see. Uh, but I'm interested to see what's for the future. Also, with all these car changes that's coming, BMW changing their car, Toyota having revealed a huge change to their car as well. A lot of other teams also thinking new drivers, new things to the car. So a lot of change into 2026. I also, just to add on to car teams and cars leaving, Iron Dames. It sounds like they don't have the financial background backing anymore. It's not set in stone, but they seem to be struggling financially right now to keep that team running. Also, results not having come there this year or last year for Iron Links and Iron Dames.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how things kind of progress. It's been a difficult season for the Iron Dames, just to point them out. I mean, I think in qualifying they something happened where they crashed. Right, it was the 85 car or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but with the Iron Dames, I hope that they come back stronger as well in 2026. Hopefully, that they can kind of regroup, reorganize, and get prepared for a better season. I think this year they were kind of hoping to do IMSA, ELMS, etc. And then, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yes, we are talking about LMGT3 being set in stone. This is a battle for the lead between the 27 Haas Team Jota, Aston Martin, and the leading Lexus. That's Jose Maria Lopez in the Lexus, and Drudy in the Aston Martin. This is going to be a close battle for the last 11 minutes for the lead of GT3.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. This is a battle for the lead in LMGT3. Lexus versus Aston Martin, the 87 ahead of the 27. This is getting intense. This is getting really intense, David.
It's almost like they heard what we talked about, like it not being a close race here at the end. And then Aston Martin and Lexus said, "Hey, here we go. We're gonna do something. We're gonna change something a bit." I think if you're sitting at the Lexus garage, you're not comfortable right now because that Aston Martin looks fast, right behind the dominating car this race. It would be a huge fumble for them not to take the win after being so fast throughout the whole race, but it looks like it could happen as the Hirsch Team Jota Cadillac locked up into the first corner, letting the 83 Ferrari take their place, as this battle also continues to be interesting.
For sure. I think it's going to be really, really intense. And here we go. The 27 Aston Martin on the back straight, looking to make this move on the 87. Is he going to send it? Here comes Mattia Drudy. He's not going to make the
No,
move. The
he's
87 stays
waiting.
ahead. Yep, he is. And look at the 61 Mercedes. It's right behind as well. This is a three-way battle for LMGT3 honors.
This could be awesome going into the last 10 minutes. I mean, with these two battling, the Mercedes could have a chance to go and take everything away from these two cars. It has had the pace, the Mercedes, so I wouldn't say no. And with a close battle, you know you're going to lose some time. That Mercedes looking hungry right behind the two leading cars. So now we get some traffic as well, mixing it up. The 92 Porsche, 10 seconds behind. I don't think even with battling in front, that anything would change for that car. Other than the championship, that's awesome for them to take the championship back to back. Of course, also Le Mans winning. So that's a similarity with Hypercar. The Mans winning team also winning the World Championships this year in WEC.
For sure, for sure. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry to interrupt what I was just about to say, but did you see there was an incident between the Alpine and the Peugeot?
Yeah,
Ooh.
French on French cars.
Yeah.
That's a dive from. I think it's a log out from the Alpine car because that looks like a huge dive into the first corner. Um, yeah. Thankfully, nothing really happening. Nothing really. No crashes there, but you know you don't want to mess it up now. Going into the last 8 minutes, I mean, you want to finish strong and to crash out in in the last 8 minutes of a race, of the final race of the season, not something you ever want to do. Um, but yeah, now we have that freeway battle. The Mercedes now caught up to the two other fighting cars. It's a three different manufacturers. It's three different cars fighting for first, second, and third place.
This is getting
This is a
intense.
monumental battle as hypercar cars as well joining in. I mean, Jonah, this is what we asked for. It may not be for hypercar and the overall victory, but it's GT racing. Tears in the Ferrari garage. They know it's home. They know they won the championship. That's awesome to see. This just shows how much it means to people. The people working in WEC and doing their job every single day to win these championships.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think this is just getting intense to the end, and we're gonna see. I mean, hypercar traffic is actually causing a little bit of issues in the GT category now. Lexus might still win this if the Aston doesn't get passed, but we'll see how this goes.
You want to, of course, sit and take the lead only at the right moment. And right now, with so many cars fighting in between as well, this is endurance racing at its very best, finishing off the season. I mean, this is perfect conditions for close battle. I mean, I would love to be standing in the Ferrari garage as well right now. It looks awesome. Everyone is just so happy. It's done for this year, and they have just done it perfectly. Had a BOP struggle at Sao Paulo, but that was not up to them. The car has been up there every single time, and for them to put off strategy and driver performance as well to win the double, both drivers and manufacturers championships. It's awesome, and having the margin to celebrate for the last race as well. I mean, it never really looked close, and even though it was mathematically still open going into Bahrain, it was still pretty much closed when we took off green flags in the start of the race. So yeah, awesome to see such a solid performance throughout a whole year. This is what we always love to see in racing, and something that I loved about Audi and Porsche
Oh
and
yeah.
Toyota when they did it. This could be a new era in WEC if Ferrari continues to be so dominant and so consistent, because that's what you need, and that's what they have done this year.
Ferrari are heading into their first championship since I believe the 70s in the world sports car racing, in the prototype ranks at least. I believe this will also be Ferrari's first WEC championship since 2021 when they won in GTE Pro. If I'm not mistaken, with those AF Corsa entries, and oh my goodness, sorry, there was a
Those pick,
51 Ferrari. Did you see that with the 51 going around the outside?
yeah, yeah, and the Mercedes having a look now down into
Switchback.
that corner. Oh, outside.
Side by side into turn 10. WEC isn't showing it. Switch, guys. Switch the cameras, please. Oh my goodness, the
This is
Mercedes, another
so
switchback
close.
maneuver. Here comes Maximilian Martin, the slipstream.
That's
Why isn't the WEC showing it? Oh my goodness.
oh, this is classic hypercar glazing right now. It's the world champion cars they're focusing on, but that's so close. You can see it in the background if you're following on screen as well. The huge battle between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin is still side by side. Who's gonna
Martin's
take
got
this?
passed. Martin's got passed. Sorry
Yeah,
to
he
interrupt
got
you.
it. There's still a look. There's a look inside now. No, no, it's not gonna happen. He has to wait for the slipstream down the start finish line now. Oh my God, Jonah, this is this is so close.
So close.
Oh,
If the Mercedes, so the Mercedes has got around the Aston, this actually could change things because with the Mercedes now in front, seems that Maximilian Martin has got some serious pace on board that Mercedes, and he might be able to chase after the Lexus. Could Mercedes
the replay
battle?
now that almost pushed off track. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Oh God, that was close. So close to the wall as well. Jonah, this is I of course, and you can see you would say just to add up on what you're saying. There's a huge gap right now to the Lexus. It's not big enough to say that it's done because you saw how much traffic did before. It can do that again. Um, there's 3 minutes left, Jonah. It's around 2 laps in the GT3s. Two
This
laps to get it all
is
done.
this is insanely intense, David. We haven't had a lot of crazy racing in this race. It's been intense for sure, but this is getting really like just unbelievable scenes here in the battle for the win. Ferrari are everyone's kind of getting emotional here for Ferrari's first manufacturers and drivers championship. The 7 Toyota, meanwhile, is heading to the win, but the LMGT3 fight is on. The Mercedes trying to hold on to second place. I think this Lexus might have the win, but it's up to second position now. We'll see how this works out. Oh
As
my
it's
goodness.
almost a parade drive now for ceremonial drive for the 51 and the 50 car, right between each other, right next to each other. This is beautiful. As we get Pierre Guidi saying that they will swap, so it'll be the 50 in third place instead of the 51 car.
Wonder why? Maybe to help the championship? Get the 50 ahead of the
No, but
6?
that wouldn't make sense because it's the fifth. Yeah, maybe that's why. But the sixth car could be that they want that 1, 2, 3 in the championship as well.
You know what? I think this is because of the 1, 2, 3 in the drivers. Ferrari might be getting this somehow. If the 50 has got ahead of the 12 Cadillac in the championship, and the 50 might be able to take third place and make it 51, 83, 50 in the most dominant fashion ever for the Italian mark. This is absolutely incredible.
That's just it. Just summarizes the whole season in for WEC this year. It's the 2025, 2025 year has just been Ferrari, like it just has. They started off the season finishing 1, 2, 3 at Qatar. Now it looks like they will finish 1, 2, 3 the drivers' championship as well. That's awesome, Jonah. This is really beautiful to see as well. The team wanting to put that's just beautiful. 1, 2, 3 Ferrari. You could say that the 83 car is in second, and that's not Ferrari. It's still, of course, Ferrari. Of course, being the Ferrari's private team. Um, this is beautiful, and seeing Antonio Giovinazzi, Pierre Guidi, and James Calado taking the drivers' championship. Of course, Pierre Guidi and James Calado have done this before in GTE Pro, but it's a
Right.
whole different type of joy and happiness when you do it in the top class in hypercar. This is awesome. There's yellow flags on the final lap.
We are on the final lap, but yeah, yellow flags. This is going to be second best achievement for Ferrari behind Le Mans, winning Le Mans overall. We're seeing similar emotions here, but this is going to be epic. I'm just
This
kind of
is
watching
awesome,
this.
Jonah.
Yeah, this is.
It's what you want. It's what you want as a team to both win in hypercar and World Endurance Championship. You want to win them all, and you want to win the World Drivers Championships and the manufacturers, of course. And this is just awesome. They did it. They did what last year didn't happen with Porsche taking the championship and Toyota taking the manufacturers, and Ferrari taking them all. It was split there, but this has just been Ferrari's year as the final lap uh, now, and the final lap of the season, final lap of Porsche and WEC this time around at least. So many finals, so many things happening right now, and I see why we have a yellow flag now. That was some debris
It
in
was
section
debris.
2. Yeah, you see Ferrari people, they can't wait to see the cars over the line. This is the more like looking to finish off a strong season. Jonah, final thoughts?
It's been an epic race. It's been an epic season here in the WEC. The number 7 Toyota, Nick DeVries, will celebrate Toyota's first victory in 2025. Toyota Gazoo Racing are back on top in the World Endurance Championship, and that is, I believe, their 11th victory. It's a Toyota 1-2, 11th victory here in Bahrain, but the celebrations are all for Ferrari 1-2-3 in the Drivers' Championship. The team's championship goes to them. The 51 car, which is going to cross the line in 4th place, will deliver Collado, Giovinazzi, and Pierre Guidi the championship. It's a Ferrari 3-4-5 in this race, but it is a world championship for them in the manufacturers and the drivers championship. Absolutely phenomenal stuff here in Bahrain. LMGT3's win goes to the 86 Akotas ASP Lexus and a first ever podium for Mercedes AMG. What a performance from the Iron Lynx. The 61 car, driven by Maximilian Martin across the line, will claim 2nd place to deliver the German marque's first ever podium. And it was close. The Mercedes is right on the back of the Lexus as well. So this was a close fight for the win. The Aston will finish in 3rd from the heart of racing. But wow, what a season. What a season. Absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Wild season as Manthey Racing also taking the double championship, now coming over the line to take both drivers and manufacturers championship from Manthey Racing and Porsche. Jonah, this is wild. I mean, such a close ending in GT3 and Manthey Racing doing it back to back in drivers and manufacturers championship. This is wild, 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 wild scenes. Pure joy, both in the Manthey Racing garage and in the Ferrari garage. This is wild, absolutely wild. Finishing off the
Celebrations.
season. The season is done.
The season is done. It started all the way back in February with Qatar. We have been doing this for so long, and I'm so happy that we have a break now. But wow, what a finish! Ferrari on top in the Manufacturers Championship. They've secured Le Mans victory once again with the 83. They've won everything. They have dominated this season, and they have a target on their back for sure. But it's gonna be a hard target to beat because Ferrari, they are the brand to beat in 2026, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult if someone else is going to fight them.
We have a new dominating team in WEC. Toyota whipped off the as kings. We have a new king. It's Ferrari. Everybody has to be way more competitive now and way take up their game because it will take a lot of work to take the championship away from Ferrari. And of course, um, they now first ever Ferrari Manufacturers Championship in WEC in the top class.
Absolutely
This
phenomenal.
is wild. This is absolutely wild, Jonah. And I don't have any words for it. It has been such a long season and so many stories going on. And some would say that BOP has had way too big of an impact on this year. But when everything comes to the business end, you could just say Ferrari did it better than everybody else. Even with BOP going against them, they still stuck it out, won the world championships. It's Ferrari's year this year, and the others have to step it up next year to even be close.
Yeah, this is going to be a phenomenal season in 2026. It's been a great year in 2025. What a commanding year from Ferrari. What a commanding year from Porsche in LMGT3. We say goodbye to Porsche Pensky Motorsport for now. That's the last of the 963, but hopefully it will be back very shortly. If not 2026, I have a very strong feeling that Porsche Pensky Motorsport, or at least the 963, will be back in some capacity in 2027. We arrive to 2026 with the stage set. It's going to be an epic season, but that concludes the 2025 year of racing. Everybody is celebrating, and there's not much more to say, but congratulations to everybody here. Congratulations to us as well, David, on a phenomenal year of coverage as well. But for now, I think that's where we sign off. If you're good with that, do you have any final thoughts?
Absolutely. I can just say a lot of new things happening in the 2026 season in WEC and a lot of new things happening at formulajonah next year as well.
True.
Stay tuned for that. But but yeah, congratulations to Ferrari, congratulations to Mental Racing, and I'm looking forward to another year of coverage of endurance racing in general, but also especially WEC next year, 2026. Let's see who can take the battle to Ferrari.
It's going to be epic. Let's see you all next year. It's going to be a phenomenal year of action. We'll continue to update you all as things progress. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the winter break as we get prepared for another season of action in 2026. I can't even fathom the idea of what we have planned for next year and what these championships have planned as well. WEC, IMSA, IGTC, ALMS, etc. But wow, congratulations everybody. Congratulations on a phenomenal season in the World Endurance Championship, Ferrari, Porsche, Manthey, AF Corsa, etc. And we will see you all in the next one from me and Dave.